My name is Nico Knibbe and I'm going to tell you something about the mobility classes, also known as MK5. Here they are. You got the A, the B, the C, the D and the E. The idea of the mobility classes is that you discuss how such a person can be as self-reliant as possible based on the mobility, not on the clinical picture. And, if that's possible, how you can help the client while of course paying attention to your own health. So, MK5 is like a language. Okay, let's go through them. The A's are actually independent. Not the B's, they need help. This could be help from an aide or from a caregiver, but the help is not physically overburdening. This is different for the C's. The help that a caregiver gives, for example when getting up, is physically overloading, and that's why an aide is needed. A typical aid for the C is the active or standing lift. At the D's we go a step further. A D is very passive, has no standing function, so assisting with the transfer is simply too heavy. A typical tool for the D's is the passive lift. Yet, encouraging self-reliance is important, just as with A, B and C. The latter is the essential difference with mobility class E. As I said, with a D, stimulating activity, self-reliance is still important. With an E, it is no longer important. With E's, it's all about providing care as comfortably as possible. This is also a useful diagram. Here in the left column you see the 5 mobility classes. Of these, only A is independent. This doesn't mean that the caregiver will immediately be physically overloaded if you do not use aids. That is only with C, D and E, as you can see here in the 3rd column. In the 4th column you can see which mobility classes actively contribute to the transfers. That's A, B and C. So D and E no longer do that. And for E, in the 5th column here, activation is no longer desired. Just 2 comments at the end. Firstly, MK5 is not a tool to indicate exactly which aid someone should use. For example, B, walker, or D, passive lift. Roughly speaking, you're in the right direction, but you will always have to look carefully, very precisely, what is the best solution for your client, and note the outcome in the patient file or in a transfer or a mobility protocol. And finally, please realize that it's quite foolish to divide the entire world population into 5 classes. Of course it's not possible. There are always people who are somewhere in between, or where you cannot agree with your colleagues about what their mobility class is. This does not matter. What matters is that you look for solutions using the language of the MK5 for transfers, for activities of daily living, self-reliance, etc. And then we work on healthy colleagues and good care. Thank you so much.
Hi Nico, what is your mobility class?
My mobility class? Yeah, well, I think it's A.
Alright then.
Okay.